Monday Night Raw on Netflix, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, goes down this weekend from somewhere. Not this weekend, sorry, tonight from somewhere, as we got the second episode of Raw on Netflix. And I'll be interested to see what this show looks like. Because the last one, it was all about the celebration, and it's about the this, and we got The Rock, and we got the big curtain thing that comes down, and Triple H saying babyface and heel, and making everyone all worked up, and all of those things. That one felt like a one-off. Tonight, I think, is going to be what Raw is actually going to feel like on a week-in, week-out basis, and is actually going to be the thing that we can expect. So I'm fascinated to see, without the focus on The Rock and all of that, what this show is. And I like, just looking at it, it certainly feels like a different type of a show. Toxic in the chat asking, Raw or football tonight? Or Flames, LOL. Probably not Flames. Probably, like, playoff football, man. I can't escape a playoff football Monday. So Raw probably gets the I'll watch it later treatment on Netflix. Now, Netflix doesn't care about that because they're Netflix. They just want people watching whenever. So they get an opportunity to just, to replay it. Put it against your football. We don't care. We're going to have people watching this right now. So to me, it is football first, and then Raw, and then Flames after on somewhat of a replay there. But in terms of what we're going to see tonight here on Raw, I think one of the things that needs to be kind of reestablished is the focus on Gunther. He felt like such an afterthought on that episode, and he is the main guy on this show. So I think you need to make him feel like that. Start building something for him for Saturday night's main event. Start building something for him for the Royal Rumble. And let's start to really get this guy rolling in a big way and get him back to feeling like the big star that he is supposed to feel like. Like I said, he was an afterthought on Raw. And honestly, since losing to Cody, that this whole, he's doubting himself thing has just allowed them to push him further and further and further and further into the background. And he's supposed to be your champion. He's supposed to be the guy who is the standard bearer on this program right now. And so I think we need to get back to that with him on Netflix tonight. Interested to see what's next for Punk Rollins. I do think bigger things are ahead. I don't think that was the blow off there necessarily. I do wonder if the pause button gets hit on that as we build to main event and the Rumble. But for Rhea, like that felt like the end of a couple years of her and Liv. So fascinated to see who the challenger is next. Now for Rhea Ripley, it's in a bit of a weird time because you're just building up to the Rumble, and then you're going to have a Royal Rumble winner, and maybe it's a feud with Rhea, and maybe it isn't. But this is always a time I think you can get a little bit creative with your title challengers, because the Rumble has always been the star of the show. So you don't really need that big championship grudge match at the top to really drive those home, because it's the Royal Rumble. People are tuning in for the Royal Rumble. They're not looking at, Royal Rumble, I don't know. Whoa, Rhea Ripley's facing who? Well, we got to lock that in. I think that with this, you have an opportunity here. They've used it before to see where is Edge at as a title challenger. Let's give a title shot to Hardcore Holly. Let's throw him out there. Let's give a vet a bone here. It allows you to get a little bit creative. So interested to see where they go with Rhea in this one, because like for those creative challengers, EO has lost a bunch, so it's tough to really heat that one up. And you've just put a bunch of them into the IC title tournament, so you've already given some opportunities there. By the way, I think you go with Lyra for the title tournament tonight. I think she should win this one. She had a bit of steam coming off of NXT, and that has certainly faded the last little while. And so I think you regroup her here and get the win. Cody Burris 678 in the chat. Mystery person going to be tonight. I think we're all assuming Pentagon, right? Like Chad Gable asking for a top luchador, and Adam Pearce, I have just the guy. And then there's the not so subtle, there's a pentagon and a zero with the through it and all of that. So I am assuming it is going to be Pentagon tonight, which, I mean, that alone makes this an episode you're going to want to check out. I'm interested to see the presentation of it, interested to see what he does, and then, like, you get Chad Gable. That's a very good person to have your first match with. So I think that I think this is going to be a fun showcase for him and a fun introduction, but very fascinated to see what it all looks like going into that one. Also tonight we have Priest against Balor in a street fight. This feels like the end of this one. I would imagine Priest goes over. He's the bigger project right now, and they've been teasing dissension in the ranks for Judgment Day. So I think Finn Balor losing kind of speeds that process up a little bit. And then the last one on the docket that we know of anyway, Sheamus against Ludwig Kaiser. And so again, you already have a lot more scheduled and a lot more focus on what is coming up here tonight on Raw compared to what we had last week. So I think this, like I said, this is going to feel a little bit more closer to what we can expect on a week in, week out basis. But yeah, I think to Cody's point, the mystery person tonight, and it being Pentagon, I think is very, very exciting. Or potentially being Pentagon, I'm assuming, is really, really exciting. And we'll see where they go from there.